baby. Let's rock and roll. It is Thursday. You guys already know what time it is. We're revved up. We were talking behind stage, and now it's time to give you guys the sauce. So we got an amazing show for you guys tonight. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood. The gentleman that you see cleaning his screen right there to the far right, that is my boy, none other than Q, the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
Man, Coach, I keep saying, man, this season gets weirder by the week, man. Vanderbilt? Really? Vanderbilt. Come on, man. We keep telling people, look, whether you're in high school or college, I don't give a damn who you're playing. If you're a ranked team, you better show up every week because it's no way on paper that Vanderbilt can line up and beat Alabama. But you got to show up week in and week out. Anybody can get knocked off, man. Anybody.
Well, and that was just one of the tidal wave weekend that we just had. And that's just on the field, y'all. It's not even talking about everything we're going to get into off the field. We can't even get into everything. But I don't want to take any more time without mentioning the man that you see in the middle of the screen. This is actually a good friend of mine, somebody that I've known since he was in high school. We were in high school. And a phenomenal player, man, Bay Area native, great defensive back. You guys went on to San Francisco City College, where he became a superstar. Highly recruited out of there, played for the great George Rush, won championships there, then went on to play at Mizzou in the Big 12, now SEC. We've been friends for a long time. We've actually helped steward young football players to the next level. So I'm very excited because I already know how this gentleman gets down and the amount of value that he's going to bring to you guys tonight. So I'm very excited to introduce my brother, none other than Mr. RJ Jones. What's going on, boss?
All good over here. Anchor down, Vanderbilt. I'm jumping ships.
This is a football fan, so he loves it.
He loves, that's insanity. But we see it every year. We see it every single season, man. And it's been multiple. Like I said, this whole season has been crazy. Like we always see highly ranked teams, man, get knocked off, but this has been like consistent the whole season, week to week. Is just a total head scratch. Total.
Remember, Kentucky almost got them earlier too.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
This is because the unexpected. It's the male soap operas. A lot of females, obviously, like my mother-in-law, who I already see in here tonight, love football as well. So it's our soap opera. You guys, let's get into it. Speaking of content and information, dude, we come from the Bay Area, so we know what San Francisco City College, junior college football is all about, but a lot of people don't, man. And we actually just had the great James Cotton on, who played for the same team as you, and the great George Rush. And you guys have an amazing fraternity, man. It's a brotherhood with CCSF. I mean, I see you have just as many events and pictures with them as you do your Mizzou boys. So give us a little bit of the sauce. What makes CCSF such an amazing brotherhood?
Man, it's really just the blood, sweat, and tears, everything you got to put in together. So, I mean, practicing together, going to school together, study hall together, outside of school events together. We was with each other, man, almost 24 hours a day. Yeah. So being around each other so much, your personalities kind of mesh. And then once you see people in front of you that when they had succeeded, they come back and talk to you and say like, hey, this is all you got to do. Go to school, make sure you listen to Rush, and you're going to be next up in line. And then when you're a freshman, you see all the sophomores leave. He's like, man, all they did was go to school and practice. I'm playing just right with them. Then the next thing you know, you're a sophomore. And then the freshmen are watching you do the exact same thing. And it's just a cycle, and it just keeps going and going. So once the train is going, it just keeps rolling. So the thing that makes it beautiful is, like I said, all of us went through the same thing. We all ran the reservoirs. We all did the campus runs. We all did the lifts. We all got talked about by Coach Rush in a in a loving manner that would make a lot of people quit the sport. But we all knew it was just like, man, what it is. That's what you got to do to play sports. Mm-hmm. And then eventually we come back and we just love it. And I mean, I met Cotton for the first time when I was coaching college football in Ohio. I was like, hey, I'm in Ohio. He was like, hey, come to this Ohio State game with me. I'm coming to his house. I knew stories about him, but never met him. And he just took me on as a little brother. So now everybody at City, if you're younger than me, you my little brother. If you're older than me, you my big brother. So everybody feels like that, and we just have that City love.
That's dope.
And that's why we call it City College of San Francisco. I know a lot of people say San Francisco City College, but City College of San Francisco.
Yeah.
City College of San Francisco, baby, and has pumped out many champions, superstars, NFL players, major D1 athletes. So thank you for sharing that, because, you know, I went to Reardon. We were right across the street. So I knew how special it was, even though I didn't play there. So just to hear you illustrate it, that's definitely special. Let's get on to our next topic, you guys. And this one is a good one because we got a panel. We got a panel of former cornerbacks, Big 12 cornerbacks. I played at the University of Colorado, Q, for Kansas, as you guys know, and then the great R.J. Jones at Mizzou, you guys. So I couldn't let this show go by, you guys, without giving these young kids a little sauce. So, you know, I wanted to ask you, gentlemen, when we talk about cornerback tips, maybe for the youngins that are watching the show live or recorded, make sure you subscribe. But cornerback tips. If I'm a young corner right now, Q, and I want to go play D1 ball, I want to do what you did. Right. I know I'm in season now, but maybe off season. What are some things I need to enhance, think about, work on to play at the level you did?
I would say I got a couple of things. That's a great question. I got a couple of things to start off with, which one thing I wish that I was better at a younger age is being able to break down film efficiently. Okay. Some kids be like, I watch film, coach, but you just watching it. You're not studying it. It's a difference, right? Because any DBs, you know, or receivers as well, but, you know, DBs in this case that I've ever worked with, and I start looking at their huddle, I won't say anything. We'll go through series after series after series, and then I'll turn and ask them, you need to tell me what you think you did wrong in that series or on that snap. And if you can't tell me, then you're not critiquing yourself well enough. You need to get better at breaking down film. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing is film. The second thing I would say is the ability to make plays. I would be on the jugs machine an equal amount of time as the average receiver, if not more. Mm-hmm. And DBs on the jugs machine enough. You know, or if your quarterback just after practice, just throw me a couple. Just a couple of W drills, whatever the case may be, but I need to touch the ball a lot. And if you notice, that is what sets Travis apart from everyone else is his ball skills. He drops nothing. He makes plays. Pass breakups are wonderful. We'll take those. We'll take big knockout shots, but we need that ball back. That's what changes the tide of the game. The third thing is extremely short memory. When you're locking up against talented, like, for example, we were at Mizzou. Anytime we had Mizzou, I'm locking up with Justin Gage. I'm 5'9.5", he's 6'4". We're going to have to go to work and figure out how to break this down. What do I need to shut down? I need to shut this fade down. I need to shut the post down. That's what, like, you know, big receivers like to run. That's what he likes to run. You have to know that, but it's having a short memory because great receivers are going to make plays. So how do you come back the next play? So that's what I got.
I love it. I love it. Young corners, listen up. You got guys who play in big time stadiums and big time games. So listen up. RJ, shoot it to me. If I'm a young corner, maybe in the Bay Area, I want to do what you did, play at Mizzou, SEC. What should I be working on this offseason?
First, I like what you said about critiquing yourself. I don't think players critique themselves enough. Yeah. So that's definitely one of them. Critique yourself, watch yourself, What can you improve on? You can always get better. There's no such thing as a perfect play. Some of the things I would say that you got to work on would be, number one, change of direction. I know people watch films and be like, oh, I'm watching the offense. I'm how to run receivers. You got to know how to play corner. So you're changing direction. Work on drills that correlate to your actual skill that you got to do during the game. So M drill, W drill, whatever you call it, you got to be able to plant and go. Whether that's the T step or whether that's the bicycle step, whatever you prefer, you got to be able to get out of your plant. So over and over and over again, where you're not even thinking about it, it just happens. The second thing, you got to be able to flip your hips. It's too many stiff corners out there who really are linebackers or like they're just uncomfortable. And it's cool because to be a DB, you're doing something that your body naturally does not do. So because it is not a natural thing, you have to do it over and over and over again to when it becomes natural. So your back pedal has to be smooth. It has to be pretty. When you open up and you flip your hips, use your arms. If your arms are stuck to your body, you don't run 100 like this, like you're using your arms. So you got to get used to using your body, using your arms, using everything. The last thing I would say would be being able to attack the ball. Once again, that's going to kind of go on what Q said, but man, you got to attack the ball. I see so many young kids, they might even be in position to make the play, but they got an offensive mentality where they let the ball come down to them. So it's like every running back cannot be a DB. Every receiver cannot be a DB. You got to have a certain mentality to be a DB. We're DBs for a reason. Like our mentality is gritty, is grinding. It's like you want to make the play. You got to say, I'm going to stop you. That's a difference between an offensive player and a defensive player. Offensive player knows they're going to get the ball. They want to be celebrated. Defensive player, you're celebrated when you stop somebody. So just having that mentality like, look, I'm about to shut you down, and it's going to happen. And I've been working on these two or three things. Actually, not even 2 or 3 things, 10 to 20 things, and it just becomes natural. So you got to have good change of direction. You got to be able to flip your hips. You can't be so stiff out there. And you got to be aggressive and make plays. Don't be hit arms, swipe balls, or top it off, intercept. So those are the 3 things I would say.
Wow, I love it. I love it. See what you get when you get professionals, people that mastered their craft, they give you even more than you asking for. So I'm going to have to run that one back because that was some great sauce right there as far as what you young cornerbacks need to be thinking about if you're going to be thinking on their level. If you're going to be thinking on a Division I level. So I appreciate you guys sharing that. We are on to our next episode or our next topic, you guys. And this one is a good one. If you're joining us for the first time, we keep everything right there on the bottom, baby, so you know what's coming. But the Heisman race. The Heisman race is starting to heat up, you guys. And it looks like we got a good year. Some of those years, we don't know what we're going to get. But it looks like this year, you guys, we got a good year. So this is the guys that are kind of the cream rises to the top, as they say. So these are the ones that are kind of rising to the top. We got the great Ashton Genty out of Boise State. We've got the great Travis Hunter out of my alma mater, CU. We've got the young man Cam Ward out of Miami, calling all shots. And then we've got the one that's going to probably go for the second year, Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. And then we've got Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon. So I'll start off with you, RJ. When you look at these possible hopefuls, does anybody stand out to you? And do you think that the list is wrong? Should somebody be off the list?
But before the 2 that stand out to me, I'll speak on this Saturday, Ohio State versus Oregon. One of them might be crossed off the list, or one of them might climb up the list.
That's a great point.
What happens this weekend?
That's a great point.
Put your eyes on that game right there. So just look, make sure you dialed in. Everybody watch that game.
Yeah.
Who you talking's climbing on the list?
For me, my top 2 is going to be Travis and Gentry because they're doing stuff that's never been seen before. Cam and Milroe, they're great quarterbacks. They're doing their thing. Much respect to them. And if Travis and Gentry wasn't in it, man, they're hands down going to win it. But have you ever seen a 2-way player like Hunter before? It hasn't happened. So how could you overlook that? So now the thing is like, okay, you got to be on a great team. So if they continue to win, like that win against USF, if they come out and win this weekend, which is a big one, and they win 8-9 games, can you say Travis Hunter shouldn't be in there? Because I mean, really, is their team that great, or do they have like 2 or 3 great players who are just unbelievable? And he's one of them. And now I go with the Boise State kid. Man, we only seen this happen maybe once, twice in our life. So you can't, even though he's actually, I'm not even gonna say it's a smaller program because boys have been doing their thing for years.
Yeah, they've been killers.
Yeah.
Real just
189, 3 touchdowns versus Oregon this year.
Exactly. So you can't overlook that. And like I said, boys, they didn't beat Oklahoma's, they didn't beat Oregon's before. Like they
the giant killers. Yeah. For like 20 years. Right.
Exactly. If they go to the Pac-12, they wanted the favorites. So their only thing is they're on the West Coast, so people out down south and east really don't get the chance to see them. But man, it's gonna be out of those two. It's gonna definitely gonna be out of those two.
We say some of our boys coming on in here. You've already talked about the great James Cotton. He's saying, "What's good, fellas?" We've got our very, very good friend, our brother David Watts, consultant, coming in. Let them know, RJ, give these youngsters a game. We love you. Of course, the great Jimmy Rucker, who holds us down every week. We've got Coach Hughes. So we love you guys. Mama, I see you. We love you guys. Thank you for rocking with us on the Locker Room Show. We got RJ with us, so you know what time it is, you guys. You're going to get some value tonight. So, Q, talk to me, baby. I mean, this is one of the better races in a few years. What does the guru say with your crystal ball? And is anybody on the list that should be off the list and should be substituted for somebody?
Well, I'll say this, man, and no disrespect, man. I like Gabriel at Oregon. Definitely, like Milroe. I do believe that Vanderbilt loss probably hurt his chances because, be it that, man, you're QB1 at Alabama and losing and not that it was his fault or anything like that, but in regards to the voting, that's going to hurt him severely. Even if they don't lose again the rest of the year, the fact that they lost to Vanderbilt, that's going to hurt him severely. As far as Cam, man, regardless how this pans out, man, kudos to that young man breathing life back into you. Like, obviously, we didn't play at the U. Always been a fan. Got a lot of good friends, man, guys I made friends with, man, on a professional level over the years that played at the U. But, man, kudos to him finally getting the U back on track. Yeah, where he is getting it done down there. So much love to him, whether he wins it or not. And obviously, he'll be back next year. As far as Travis, man, and Ginty, man, I went on YouTube right this week, and I was looking at some of the kid at Boise State's his highlights, and
ridiculous.
The dude is averaging 10 yards a carry almost. That's
8 men in the box.
This is like that 95, 96 Ricky Williams campaign where he was just going off every week. 8-man front. Hell, you could put an 11-man front. It really doesn't matter. And it's like he finds space. He finishes the run. He can block. He can he will. I know we've been saying for so long, man, that maybe the running back position, man, is not as valued, but he's gonna go high. Yeah. You just have to take him top 10. Right, you have
to. Guys like Saquon.
He's special, man. And the thing is, it's not taking him a ton of carries. Like you said, you're talking, he's in that 10 to 15 carries, and he's like at 120, 130 yards at 10 or 15 carries. And this is every week. Every week. He doesn't need.
And everybody knows what's coming.
Right, and he doesn't need 20 or 30 carries. And the reason, as a scout, I like him, or as a GM, is because I know that he's not getting a lot of carries. He's not getting ran to death. He's just
The
coasting.
great Jimmy Rucker says, take out Gabriel and put in the true freshman from Ohio State.
I like that, Jimmy. I tell you what, though, but then if you do that, you're going to have to put in the freshman of Alabama, too, because he's just as much of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see more of them as their career goes on, because they'll be fighting for the Biletnikoff next year for sure. Might actually, if they continue, might actually be on the list this year as well. But right now, the Heisman's a two-man race. To make a long story short, it's a two-man race. Like we saying, we love to see Travis do what he's doing. It's just, man, can he keep this up an entire season? And then we're talking the playoffs and still be able to do like that is a lot of snaps, man. And the more snaps you play, the higher risk for injury. That's just the facts. So we just got to see, but it's a two-man race as far as I can see.
Go adding something to Travis too, where we're thinking about the physical component. Think about how many plays you have to remember on defense. Offense is about 3 times as many plays you got to remember. He has to remember all that stuff. So do the right thing. So man, Travis Hunter, he's that guy. He is that guy.
He is, definitely.
Yeah, you can't no longer dispute, some people thought maybe that's Jackson State. Maybe that was a lucky year last year. He got hurt. Let me see it. You can no longer dispute that the kid is very special. This is something that we've never seen before. Yeah, go ahead.
I did want to mention for you young players that are listening, it was a clip. We'll try to find it and figure out how we can repost it. But I will say, as far as Travis's conditioning, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. As a matter of fact, when we find the clip, what's the one thing he said? He said, all I do is go to school, ball, play video games, and go fishing.
Well, what was we just talking about right before the show started? We was talking about Sauce Gardner doing the same thing. And I know this is like a little shameless plug, but giving a shout out to my nephew, who's the 18th ranked corner right now for Virginia Tech. So he's coming out early, most likely, as you keep that down. But man, he just plays football.
Yeah.
He just plays football. He's not doing all the extra stuff. And one of the things I know I made a mistake on, man, I'm trying to be a promoter in college. So, like, I'm promoting all types of activities and events.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And it was like football wasn't the number one thing, but it should have been the number one thing.
Yeah.
So, no, it seems like he's got his head on straight. Seems like all of these young men got that figured out. But it's going to be interesting, you guys, as we come down the pike of the college football season. Will it be Genty? Will it be Hunter? Will it be Ward, Milroe, or Dylan Gabriel, or a dark horse that comes in late? That'd be crazy.
6 more games.
Freshman, if a true freshman becomes the best college football player in the country. So let's get on to our next topic, you guys. Once again, thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Coach Wood. You got the guru with us. And then, of course, the great RJ Jones out of the Bay Area, balled out at Mizzou, and now is giving his time to us. This is, unfortunately, on a little bit more of a somber topic, you guys, but these are things that we cover in the locker room if you're joining us for the first time. And Jabril Peppers. We all know Jabril Peppers, phenomenal athlete, played at Michigan, was arrested this past weekend. Looks like a domestic violence deal. They put him on the commissioner's exempt list. For those that don't know, that is the list where guys still get paid while their cases are being reviewed. But I'll shoot it to you first, RJ. When you have accusations, let's put the Gerard Mayo hat on you. So you the head coach of the Patriots, and this guy's a captain for the Patriots, a longtime NFL player. But you got some crazy accusation, pushing a woman down the stairs, throwing her out without her clothes on. There's possible cocaine found in his wallet. Are there accusations that are a little too heavy for you to fully accept a young man back? Or is it, hey, if you get cleared, you're good with me? How is it with Coach Jones?
So right now, you got to keep in mind, NFL is a business. They're here to make money and they're here to sell. So you can't mess with the brand. Whatever that brand is for the NFL, it is to make money. So they will accept a lot of things, but it's some things they can't accept. So if it's something where he's found guilty, especially the assault, because you got women that watch the NFL too. You got dads, you got grandpas, you got aunties, and if they're not with that, they can't take you back because they're going to say, why are you allowing this player to play? I spend my hard-earned $200, $400 on this ticket. I don't want to see somebody like that in the game. And if it's to that point, even though he might be a good guy, even though he might have just made a mistake, it's about the brand. You got to protect the brand. And hopefully he's not somebody that's going to actually, I'm not even going to say because I don't know the details of it, because if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. But yeah, you got to protect the brand no matter what. Nobody's bigger than the brand. Nobody's bigger than the brand.
100%. Obviously, the Shield, the NFL brand, and then the Patriots brand, billion-dollar brands. Talk to me, Q. If you're the head coach of the Patriots, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet, but just don't look too hot. How do you take it? Are you good if he comes to a settlement, or he's not guilty, or are you like, hey, that's a little too heavy, too close to home?
Well, I think the main issue is it's and I know they said they might have found some cocaine on him or something. I think that is less of an issue than a domestic violence situation. I think we all learned so much from that Ray Rice situation where they're just, man, they're gonna drop the hammer on guys, man, that they have gone through any type of court, and that's been proven. Now let's be straight, we've seen women that might be where they are untruthful, or it might be a situation that was extremely exaggerated just because of emotions being in play, right? But if it does come out to be true, there was domestic violence, man, the NFL's just going to drop a hammer on you because, like my man said, it's having to do with the brand. I feel like if it was a situation more along the lines of it was just having to do with some narcotics, what I mean, man, look at Michael Irvin and LT. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? But that's one of those things where there was no domestic violence situation. It was like, okay, just get him into rehab and get him back on the field, But I feel like that's
Jabril ain't LT either.
Right. But that's more of the issue is the domestic violence aspect. I feel, you can send guys to rehab, for drugs, man, the abuse or whatever, man. But domestic violence is a different creature in the league. So.
Great point, you guys. And actually, I don't have the number. I should have had the number with me, but it has been a significant drop in domestic violence cases with NFL guys since Ray Rice. So guys are still doing things off the field, but they're getting better at not having that charge against them, which is a great thing. We are on to our next topic. You guys ripping and running through the Locker Room Show every single Thursday. We bring in the best of the best. We bring in people that aren't armchair people, that have helmet on, getting after it. So we appreciate you coming on, RJ. This one is big. Obviously, we got a lot of young athletes that watch our show, parents, coaches. Transfer portal has been always popping since it came into inception. But they made some changes, you guys. They made some changes. They said it's a little bit too free. It's a little bit too free here and there, go anywhere. And they've limited how many days. So they went from 45 to 30 days. And actually, what this is really going after, you guys, is all of the kids that were going in during bowl season, where the coaches were getting ready for the bowl. They were trying to recruit, but they didn't know who was still going to be on the team. So right after the conference championships, you guys, it's done. They can't go in. So they have to go in before the conference championships or right after, So this is to limit that. They've been limited 15 days. And I want to get you guys' opinion on that. We'll start off with you, Q. A coach can go anywhere at any time. We've seen that. We've seen coaches get fired. One coach got fired at Utah State right before the season. Coaches, I know this is NFL, but Saleh just got let go. So we see coaches move all the time.
Right.
Should these kids be limited to a restricted time, or should they be able to go whenever they want?
No. It's if you're gonna make everything else NIL all the way down, man, getting closer and closer to how they operate in the league, then the league has a window. So they have a specific window, and it needs to be the same way. Because like you said, it's affecting it's affecting schools with not knowing who's going, who's coming. And no program wants to be left high and dry where I passed on a kid, that I could have brought in, or I'm losing a kid that I didn't know was going. And everything's all over the place because that window is too big. So if you narrow it down, it's a better way of streamlining things. And as a program, man, we can either retain what we got, or we know the window where we can go get what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I hear you. Talk to me a little bit, RJ. That the new rule is to benefit the coaches more, so they've got more stability. Do you think that the kids should have to care about the coaches?
Yeah, I think it's fair. You need to have more regulations, and even though they just made this adjustment right here, they're still going to be tweaking and proofing it over the next couple of years. Because remember, this is still new, so it's new for everybody. It's new for admin, it's new for the players, it's new for the coaches, it's new for parents. So it's new for everybody. So over the next 2 or 3 years, it's still going to be changed. One thing, and of course, you guys know the new change right now is like with the NIL. National Letter of Intent, so NLI, that's gone, and I'm for that too, because now you're signing. This is what I'm making for this year. So it's not just word of mouth. Like you signed it. You know how much you're making. You know what you're signing. You know what your scholarship is, and that's what's going to take the place for that. So I'm for that as well. Because like the guy from UNLV said he was blindsided. He went there because he was supposed to be getting this, and it was like, no. Now you know for a fact because this is what you signed before you came here. So definitely for that. I wish there could be I see another transfer portal rule coming into effect pretty soon as well. Right now, I think it should just be you could transfer once, and then after that, the only time you could transfer should be a grad transfer. I'm not really for everybody transferring 2 or 3 times. Just that one, okay, I got there my freshman year, and it's like, you know what? I'm a Florida kid. I need to go back to Florida. Okay, that's fine. Or you know what? I came in with this other dog. He a freshman. I'm not going to play behind him because he's that good. Okay, I'm gonna go just to play. I'm fine with that because you got to do what's best for you. Think about all the people that transferred out and now they're balling at their new program. But now when you get to that next program, you're like, nope, I'm not good here. And then you get to that next program, nope, I'm entering transfer portal again. I think that's too much. So I wish it kind of could go back to the old days where if you want to transfer that second time, go back to the junior college level. And that's going to help revive the junior colleges too, because now guess what? You got them dogs coming back, or you're going to be like, you know what? My situation ain't that bad. Let me stick it out here and let me compete.
Okay, I hear you right there.
Good point. Good point.
And like you said, this is going to be ongoing, you guys. The kids that are in college right now are eating. They're making money. They can go where they want to go, but there will be restrictions. You guys are seeing these restrictions come into play. So 15 days less for you to hop in the portal if you're one of those athletes that want to. And we've got the great HB with us, who we all know.
The head detective.
Where you had to earn your stripes.
That's big bro right there. HB is big bro. Like I said, everybody in the city family that's older than me, that's big bro.
Yes, indeed. So thank you for joining us, family. And we are on to the next session of the show. And this is the one that we always love and our fans love. And that is the lightning round. The lightning round, you guys.
On a stormy Friday night.
He hasn't been on yet, but he does know about the lightning round. He's got 60 seconds, you guys. And since I've known this guy since high school, I got a good list. But he's got 60 seconds to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind. We are on the clock here shortly. Let me get the stopwatch ready. Now, he has some athleticism. He has some speed. We also used to duel and track. So we're going to see how fast he go on this lightning round. So, and we got some people that might be on the list watching. I got him at zeros. So if you hear your name, don't hold it against him, depending on what he says. All right. So you ready to go, big dog?
Yes, sir. I don't even know what's about to happen, but let's get it.
All right. So first thing that comes to your mind, and you want to go fast. Don't elaborate. Say something quick and move on to the next. Now, if you can get to 12 or higher, then when you move back to the Bay, because you say you're moving back, it's a dinner on us for the locker room.
Marshall said we going to Sizzler.
So you're actually competing against James Cotton because he's the one that got 12. So we're about to see what it does on the lightning round. And HB talking mess. He says Q had some smaller glasses last week.
Yeah, I knew HB. I knew he's gonna log on. See the frequency from his forehead causing a delay on the show, but that's all right. We can deal with it. I felt it. Man.
Get after that. We get after that after this lightning round. So we got him at zeros, and we're gonna get after it and see what RJ does on the lightning round. All right. First thing that comes to your mind. First thing. Number one. Palo Alto High School. Go.
Devontae Adams.
Raiders or Niners?
Niners.
George Rush.
Winning.
Best player you ever played against?
Oh, Terrence Wood.
Reggie Bush.
Heisman.
Gatorade or coconut water?
Gatorade.
Swim with the Dolphins or hold a snake?
Swim with the Dolphins.
Favorite ice cream topping? He's rolling.
Chocolate.
Jeremy Maclin or Luther Burden?
Jeremy Maclin, easily.
Charles Stark.
Swole at 15 years old.
Favorite Bay Area restaurant? 50 seconds.
Sizzler.
Marshawn or Derrick Henry?
Marshawn.
Houston, Texas or Austin?
Houston.
He killed that. He killed that. He killed that.
He gets one protect delay. He gets one protect delay, as you guys know. So, as we always do, I mean, he should win anyway since he mentioned me. But as we always do, we're going to add him up and we're going to see what we got here. But he was rolling, you guys. And keep in mind, this is the spring winner. Spring winner, all right? We got to crown our fall winner. So, number one, his old high school, Palo Alto High. That is where Devontae Adams went as well, Bay Area native. We crack him out. So, that was number one. Number two, he's going with the Niners over the Raiders. Number three, his great coach, George Rush from CCSF. He says winning. They definitely were winning. Number five, best you ever played against. He said, yours truly. I don't know if he was giving me some sauce, but thank you for that. Number six, Reggie Bush, Heisman. Number seven, he's going with the coconut water over the Gatorade, new school. Number eight, he's going swimming with the Dolphins over holding the snake. Number nine, he says chocolate on my ice cream, please. Number 10, he's going with the old school Jeremy Maclin over the young Luther Burden at Mizzou. Number 11, Charles Stark, the great St. Francis Lancer. We've had him on the show. Hawaii Rainbow Swole at 15. I can attest to that because we played against him in Little League. HB, you know, he was swole at 15. Never lifted a weight, by the way, too. Favorite Bay Area restaurant? I think he said Sizzler, but I'm not sure. That's number that's 12. Number 13, he's going with Marshawn, Bay Area native again, over the Derrick Henry. Number 14, he said Houston, Texas, over Austin. And with the tech delay, baby, he's at 15. Yeah, and he is rolling. So, way to represent for the Bay. I'm going to have to dip in my pocket maybe at the end at the springtime for you, brother.
I'll save you some money. We can go to JJ Fish.
On 3rd Street. The 15, and he is our leader. So, James, I know you probably watching, baby, but no dinner on the locker room show. Right now, he is in the driver's seat, and great job with the locker room show lightning round. So, thank you for that. We got a bunch of people coming on in the chat. HB said Chuck was swollen 15. So, yes, he was. Definitely. We are on, you guys, having a great time with the great RJ Jones. We are on to the audience portion of the show. If you are live, you got a question for this amazing athlete, played at Mizzou, started right off the bat, you guys, then please feel free to ask a question. But Q, I know you got something for our guest.
Definitely. So I guess my question for this evening was, at the conclusion of, your college career, did you already have a plan in mind? Like, okay, man, I know you're saying you were doing some promoting, but had some things going on in college, but did you have a plan like, hey, I already know what I'm going to do, or I still kind of got to figure this out at the conclusion of me hanging the cleats up?
Man, before I get to me, I'm gonna tell everybody listening, get into your college career center. Because you are a student, you will need a career eventually, whether you play in the league or you don't, you will need a career. Sometimes the athletic center, they get you on path to graduate. But remember, there's 20,000, maybe 30,000 people on your campus who will have careers at the end of the day, and they're going to their career center, and that's how they get their jobs right out of college. So go to that career center. They will get your resume together. They will have you set up with mock interviews. They will have real interviews with certain companies. Now, I say that because when I graduated, I had no idea what to do with myself. I was frustrated. I didn't want to watch football. I went maybe 4 or 5 years without even watching football. Like I just couldn't do it. Had no idea what to do with myself. Moved back home with my grandma, and then finally started figuring out, okay, let me get into this. I got back with Coach Rush. He was like, hey, get your master's degree. You could come teach up here in the city. You could coach up here. And that ended up being my form. And that's how I ended up coaching at the Division II level in Ohio. And then if I figure out a plan, because you're way more than an athlete. So figure out your plan. And then once you get that, find something that you enjoy doing. Hopefully it's financially beneficial for you. If not, man, keep grinding, because you got the grind, because everybody can't play football. Everybody can't do it.
No.
So if you're able to play football, you're able to work a regular job.
Definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
This is a couple of great questions from some of your former teammates. HB says, how do you feel the competition at CCSF prepared you for Mizzou? What was better?
So city, every place isn't going to be like City. I was able to go against people like HB. I was able to go against people like Jerry Dorsey and Atras Brooks and Melvins, is like real receivers, not people that just played receiver, but like receivers that could run routes. James Wagner, one of the fastest people ever. So by doing that, and also something with the junior college level is you practice all spring, where when you at the D1 level, you only got 3 weeks. You got 21 days or something like that to practice. Where in JUCO is almost every day that whole spring. So you're doing 1-on-1s, you're doing 5-on-4s, you're doing 7-on-7s, and like you really become a technician. Like you really learn how to cover, you really learn how to run routes. And playing against great athletes, when you go up to that next level, you're kind of like, man, I didn't win against people like this before. Sometimes the people at the junior college is even better. So yeah, playing against people like HB and everybody at City, man, it really made it easy for me, my transition. Oh, no, and all to correct you too, when I first got to Missouri, I wasn't starting. So I came in the spring, I was 5th on the depth chart. Now, if I'm looking at, no disrespect to the other corners, much love to my Mizzou guys, but I'm looking at them like, man, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And coach knew I was better than him, but he was like, I can't put you in the starting spot right now. So I started off at 5th at the beginning of spring practice. Worked by the end time spring ball was over, spring game, I was starting.
See?
So when I got to the fall camp, when the season started,
Yeah, and you were used to competing from JC, having
So
that's a good point. I mean, once again, Q, I've talked to you many times, man, but super low. I mean, he was coming up behind guys like Milo Lewis, who would go start at Alabama, and be playing in the Orange Bowl and stuff versus Tom Brady. That was who he was behind. So he's used to having to climb the depth chart. We got a great question here from the great James Cotton. He says, hey, how was your experience last week in the Horseshoe? Because he played at Ohio State.
Remember, I talked about that brotherhood of City. So we call him Debo. That's big brother right there. That's big bro. And if you ever see him, you think about Debo from Friday. He gets what he wants. And it was all hospitality because he sees me as his little brother. He was like, hey, I got a ticket for you. Let me show you the hospitality suite. He introducing me to everybody. And it's all family. And that's one of the things you got to love about City. It's all family. We're all family. It's a whole bunch of big brothers and a whole bunch of little brothers.
That's dope.
I love it. I love it. Well, man, thank you for coming on in the locker room. You know, open invitation anytime. Thank you for sharing value, man, with our audience. Keep up doing the amazing work, you know, in the community. And I look forward to seeing. We're gonna have some. It looks like you won, but we're gonna have some dinner anyway, brother.
And if it's November 2nd, I'm gonna take Debo out. We going to JJ Fisher Roxy's.
That's what's
there
up.
You go. There you go. You hear him. There you go, James. So, hey, thank you guys for joining us tonight. This is the great RJ Jones, as you know, doing big things, you guys. And Q, I mean, so much talent coming out the Bay, man, just like St. Louis, but guys that are still giving back. And it seems like that's true for you guys too. You look at Brandon, a lot of the guys that you tap into, they're
man,
still giving back. So
you have to, man. You can never ever, when you look back at what you've accomplished in this game, and forget where you came from, man, and the coaches, man, and the program that made you. You know, so that's your duty to give back. You have to go back and do that, man. You know. So no, I absolutely love it. Like I said, man, RJ played with a ton of my good friends, you know, from St. Louis, man, and Mizzou, and it was definitely a pleasure having him on. Hopefully we'll have him back to later on in the year, early next year.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I know there's football on right now. Hopefully the Bay Area Niners team wins, but tune back in every single Thursday because we're going to keep it coming, baby. The season is crazy. Off the field stuff is crazy. The NCAA is crazy, Q. So come on.
HB head crazy. I know it's crazy. I know.
We're going to shut the show down. Thank you, Big James, for a great entertainment show as always. And these two, I'm not even inviting y'all back. So we'll see y'all next week without Q and without HB. We love you. See you at the top.